I'm Julie. I'm with the Elite Graduate Program. I'm the intervention specialist. And we're really honored today because we've got 3 different departments that have come together to help you with your search for graduate assistantships on campus. Our first speaker today is going to be Nancy Salinas. She is a career counselor at the Career Center, which is up on the 3rd floor. You need to go up and see her, or someone in the office. Our second speaker is Kristen Gardner. She is a business support specialist, business coordinator. I knew I'd mess it up. Business coordinator with research and graduate studies, which you all should have heard of to get into the university. And our third speaker is Adriana Vela, and she is an HR generalist. Thank you, HR generalist with human resources here on campus. And so with further ado, I'd like you to welcome Nancy. We'll start off with Nancy today.
You said I can click the...
You can flip it, you can do whatever you like.
Good afternoon. I am so happy you all are here today. I meet a lot of students who are undergraduates, and we really need to meet with our graduate students as well. Some of you may already be within your career field, and sometimes it's just developing those skills that you have in order to progress or maybe move up within your company to other levels. Today we're going to cover resumes and interviewing and some other little things, tidbits. But we're actually going to go right out of our career guide. I've given, everyone has a career guide, and we're going to start on page 26. And if you have any questions, please let me know. But this is a great career guide. If you go to the Career Services website, and you'll be able to see, even you can click on the picture of this, and you'll always have access to it. As we update it, we'll get a new picture for next year. You always have access to this. So, first of all, resumes, interview preparation, proper attire, and follow-up. First of all, I want you to meet our staff. This young lady right here, this is Sharon Herrera. She is a full-time employee, but she works with, she's called a part-time job developer. And she works with our students who need part-time jobs. So sometimes when you come in, if you're looking for that part-time job on campus or off campus, you may meet with Ms. Herrera first before you meet with your career counselor. The lady with the glasses, that is Terry Howe. She is our Associate Director of Career Services, as well as a career counselor for the College of Education. The next young lady is Jennifer Gonzalez. She is the career counselor for nursing and health sciences. The lady in the blue, that is Sarah Lopez, and she is our administrative assistant. She runs our office and keeps everybody intact there, or doing their job right. And then, of course, there's me. And I am the career counselor for the College of Liberal Arts. Over here is Joanna Benavides Frankie, and she is the Director of Career Services. R.J. Davis is the career counselor for College of Science and Technology. And Yesenia Velasquez Pena, she is a career counselor for the College of Business. So whichever college that your major falls under, that is a career counselor that you will meet with. In your packet, there is a sample resume that we use. And if you'll pull that out, this might be a little hard to read up here. But first thing, up at the top, your name. We want to see your name on your resume, big and bold. That should be the biggest font on your resume. And I don't mean the biggest font, use a 72, but it should be maybe a 16 or 18-point font that you can use, that your name shows up big and bold. The only other parts that are bolded are going to be the sections of your resume. Sometimes I'll get students who have all kinds of things that are bolded within their resume, and remember, your eyes tend to be guided to those bolded areas. So if an employer that is looking at your resume And they just want to know if you have a degree. They go straight to education. Straight to education. Do they have the degree we're looking for that particular job that you are applying for? So you don't want to bold all these different things because they may just miss. What is very important to you might not be important to that employer at that time. And employers spend less than 30 seconds scanning your resume. They're looking for those key words, and they're looking for those degrees. So if you have your education out to the side where they can see, there's no problem. They know exactly what kind of degree you have and what they're looking for as well. When you put on your name, address, city and state, phone number. I'll see resumes where students put cell number, home telephone number, work number. I would tell you, put one phone number. You don't want those employers call your home, you're not there, they won't leave a message sometimes. Their time is valuable as well. So then, okay, let me leave my work number. You might not be at your work. And additionally, you might not want your employers to hear that you're looking for another job somewhere. And again, if you use your cell number, you know, sometimes people will say, I don't want to use my cell. However, if you use your cell number and have your message when it answers, because maybe you're in class, that says, you have reached Nancy Salinas, please leave a message. That way they know they got the right person, for one, and they feel comfortable leaving that message. If you have one of those long entourage music, head-banging type of ringtone or answering, please change it. Be professional. Employers don't have time to listen to that 3-minute intro, even though you think it's only 3 minutes. 3 minutes is a long time when you're trying to get all these applicants in and out and who qualifies. So the one who sounds professional is the one that's going to get that interview. That's also a reflection on yourself. One time I had a student, and she was a great applicant for this employer. And what on her ringtone, when you answer her messaging, was, hello? After you get the ring, you know, I'm waiting, and it's hello? And, oh, this is Nancy Salinas. And then you get the, it's very obnoxious, and she said, you know the drill, leave a message. Click. And it's very rude and obnoxious. The employer called me and said, you know, I'm looking at her resume, she looks like the best applicant, but if I have to call and listen to that again, I'm gonna throw her resume away. So you have to be careful while you're actively looking for those jobs, be professional. Show them you're a college graduate already and you're in a master's program. Show them what you're made of. And actually look back at yourself. Would you hire me if I had that type of ringer on my phone? And then after you get the job, do what you're going to do. However, while you're actively searching for jobs, be as professional as possible. When we get to your email, same thing. Take off the hyperlink from your email, because the employer trying to print it on their end, sometimes that email address does not show up. Don't make them go through all the application process to see if you added your email within that part of the application. Make it as easy as possible for these employers. And make sure that you have a professional email, as close to your name as possible. That way they know that they are getting, they're emailing the right person. Sometimes people put all these fluffy bunnies at hotmail.com. That's not professional. Once again, would you hire you with that type of email address? So be very professional. Your Islander accounts are good accounts. They have your name, maybe your initial and a name, and maybe a number, but it's as close to your name as possible. Plus it has the extension EDU. It says this is a college student, and this is probably someone I would love to interview. So, your objective, short, sweet, and to the point. Tell them what job you're applying for. If you're going to a big, huge company and your application happens to get separated from your resume, and you have your objective to obtain a position where I could utilize my skills and education, does it tell that person exactly what job you are applying for? So that also comes into play with internships. I have students who are applying for internships with Haku. They have an array of internships, but they don't tell them what type of internship they want to do. So everybody who's intelligent or smart enough to make sure they put in, what's my first job that I would really love to intern at, and the next, they get their first 3, they're going to get one of those 3. Otherwise, if you don't put that, if there's something left, you're going to get what's left over. You don't want to do that. Make sure you tell them what you want. Be very matter of fact. It's very important. And short, sweet, to the point. To obtain the position of with XYZ company. Tell them what the position is and what company you're with. Sometimes even it helps to put the department. When you go here at the university, there's so many different departments with the same types of titles. So you want to make sure that you're putting in the correct information. Then education. A lot of times I'll see students who put their education way at the bottom. Way at the bottom. Your education is one of your best assets. Put it up at the top. Let them know you're a recent graduate. Tell them what you were, and if right now you're in a master's program, so that one is going to come first, and then your bachelor's degree. And then instead of saying graduated, you're going to say expected graduation for that master's degree. GPA, if it's 3.0 or better, they want to see it on there. That's the rule of thumb. However, you may apply to some companies that they say the GPA must be at least a 2.5. If your GPA is 2.5, put it on there so they know off the top of the bat that you have the right GPA for their job. Now, with a graduate program, you must have a 3.0 or better, right? So you shouldn't have any problems putting this on your resume. So let them see that. Let them see what kind of grades you're making. Most students in a graduate program do very, very well. Put it on there. Let them see you are not only a good student, you're a great student. Then coursework. Many, many times, students will never put their coursework on their resume. I want you to think of your coursework like a workshop. Because when you're going through that class, last night I met with a public administration graduate class. They have a project that they're doing from the beginning of the semester through the end. It's 15 weeks long, which encompasses so much work for what they're doing. Sometimes that is the experience that you have, and you can also use that on your resume. So it's real important coursework. Many of those people that you may be interviewing with are going to know what entails with that. Now, you always want to gear your resume towards the job. This particular sample is for an accounting individual. So here they're doing accounting, but maybe they took some business management courses of some sort, and maybe this job entails some kind of management of some sort or supervisory jobs. So you might want to add in some of the management jobs that you have, that are not jobs, I'm sorry, your courses. So they can see, it tells them a story about you. You turn in work to your professor, you get it back. That means you get feedback from them. You're graded. You take a final. This is an excellent way of telling them what you've been doing throughout your college career as well. Skills. The job description more than likely is going to tell you what skills they are looking for this job. And I always tell students, just remember, you're only going to apply for jobs that you feel you qualify for. You're not going to go and apply for some job that's way out there, you know, as a rocket scientist when you're an English major. Although I wouldn't doubt that some of our students can do those jobs, but you have to have qualifications for it. So you're going to read these job descriptions and you're going to say, wow, no, and no. But maybe the next one is, wow, I have this, I have this, I have this. Hey, I think I qualify for this job. I'm going to apply. You may apply for many, many jobs, but I will tell you to be proactive and apply for those jobs. Someone is going to interview you. So your skills, some that come off the job description, again, use your best judgment. You may have other skills that you're going to use to say, hey, I can add those. I can add this, and it's a great asset. Your activities, employers want to know what you've been doing throughout your college career. So you're a part of this ELITE program, add that to your resume. It's great. They want to see that. They want to see how you're involved as well. And then honors, if you have any kind of honors, and when you get down to your experience, the one I love to use is the last one, the McDonald's cashier. That one is just very, very explanatory because it says handle cash, credit, debit card transactions. It says responsible for balancing cash drawer and cheerfully serving customers. But does it say I wipe the floors, I fill the ketchup dispenser? Those are the other duties as assigned that you have to do, but they're not conducive to doing the job as a cashier. And references available upon request. So that's a resume in a nutshell. This is our career guide that you have. It's also on our website. And right in here, I want you to read these things, key points, do's and don'ts. Arriving early. Not a whole hour early, because that's just kind of creepy, but 10 to 15 minutes so they know that you're prepared and ready. Go through this list, read them. Some of them are self-explanatory, and other times you think, I already know this. And then other times you're going to say, wow, I forgot all about this. What to wear. You should be wearing, employers want to see that classic basic look. Wear a suit. I had a student where she was applying for Flint Hills, and they explicitly told her, wear flame retardant clothing, and they gave her a certain type of steel-toed boots to wear. And she said, well, should I go dress and then change? No, they told you exactly what to wear. That's your chance. Do it. This was from our Get the Job fashion show we had Tuesday. If you notice, these ladies and young men, they're wearing suits. They are, the tops match. They're not mixed and matched. The ladies are wearing hose and they're nude. They're not fishnets or anything else. Their shoes, the heels are no higher than 2 inches. You want to make sure you can walk, because that does happen. The men, look at them, they're wearing a suit, they look nice, they're crisp. It's a great look, and that makes them look very professional. Right in here, these are questions and answers to practice. One of the first questions they ask you is tell me a little bit about yourself. You want to make sure you have that little minute or 2 commercial about yourself where everything just flows and rolls off your tongue. Not, and I don't know what to say. Practice, practice, practice. And then here for the questions for the interviewer. You should always have questions at the end of your interview. Tell them if you have some questions as far as maybe what was transpiring throughout your interview, perfect. You have questions to ask. The 2 I like to ask, and they're on here, is tell me about a typical day on the job, because you might want to know what you're going to be doing. And then maybe when do you expect to make your decision? So that way, if you have another interview, but I really want this job, you know that maybe we still have 20 more applicants that we're interviewing and we won't be making our decision for 2 more weeks. Then you know, you give yourself a leeway and you know what you need to do. Follow-up is very important. When you interview with someone, send them a thank you note. That could be the difference between you and another applicant who are great applicants, but you follow through with the thank you note. And it doesn't have to be all, like writing a paper, just thank you for your time. When you're leaving, thank that interviewer for their time because they didn't have to interview you, and their time is precious. Now, last tip of the day. When you go into an interview and you may have that hairy, scary interviewer, you know, there's always one sometimes that just scares the living daylights out of you. And you see my friend here, and he looks kind of intimidating. But one thing I tell students, because when we look, we tell you, look in the eyes, look, give them that eye contact. So if they make you nervous, look at them right here, right between the eyes, a little above. Because that way, I'm looking at him right here, but yet he might not know if I'm really giving him that eye contact. Yet it still shows you're confident, and it still shows you know what you're doing and what you're talking about. So hairy, scary guys, just remember that. Headshots, keep your head up. Don't worry about what they're writing, because you go into an interview, they're only writing all the wonderful things that you're saying. So keep your head up and address everyone. Any questions? Okay, thank you all very much.
Thank you very much, Nancy. And next, excuse me. Uh-oh. If you'd like to come up and look at your... Next, we're going to have Kristen Gardner, Business Coordinator for Research and Graduate Studies.
Hi, everybody. Like she said, I'm Kristen from Research and Graduate Studies, and I said, see, that's a big no-no right there. You don't notice it. But I said it again. I work in, like I said, Research and Graduate Studies, and I oversee a lot of the assistantships on campus. And basically, we're just going to tell you a little bit about what assistantships are, and a little bit of tidbits on how you can find them and good practices for being able to obtain an interview and find a position. So Laura Mencia is my assistant, and she might be a person that if you call our office asking questions or wanting to know information, you might speak with her first, because she is really great, because she is a graduate assistant, is a graduate student. She knows a lot about the process. So she's going to tell us first about what kinds of assistantships are on campus. So Laura, go ahead.
Excuse me.
So what is a graduate assistantship? A question that sometimes we ask ourselves. Well, basically it provides an opportunity for graduate students to work in their chosen field. And one of the main requirements is to be enrolled in a program, and generally they're paid a small stipend. We have 3 types of assistantships. We're going to explain or going through each one. First, the graduate assistant teaching assists with classes, possibly as an instructor, and also may include tutoring, office hours, grading, administering exams, and assisting with lectures and/or labs. The graduate assistant research directly assists faculty and research or staff members with research and perform duties that contribute to the research mission of the department. And finally, we have the graduate assistant non-teaching, which is other position not encompassed by above. What are the requirements? To be a graduate assistantship, you have to meet 3 very important requirements. You have to be accepted to the degree-seeking program. You have to be in a good academic standing, like 3.0 GPA or better, and enrollment requirements, which in the next slide we're going to explain what it varies depending on departments. And don't forget, this is very important, consult the graduate office and your supervisor before dropping classes, because these may affect your assistantship status. So it's very important that you know this if you're planning to drop classes and you're currently in an assistantship position.
So I see a couple of familiar faces. Has anyone already kind of seen this presentation before at graduate orientation or anything like that? Okay. Basically, enrollment requirements, they might vary between different colleges and departments. At the very least, students would have to be enrolled in at least 6 hours during long semesters, and if you work during the summer, you would have to be enrolled in at least one 3-hour course. Select colleges like the College of Science and Tech, you would need to be in 9 hours during the long semester, which is basically a full-time student. And also certain grants and certain other departments, like our department, Research and Graduate Studies, we require our students to be enrolled full-time. So that's something that if you're looking for a position or interviewing for, a good question to ask is if they have specific requirements for working in that department. Grad assistants are appointed at 50% effort most of the time, which is about 20 hours a week. And typically, grad students and grad assistants aren't permitted to work more than that 20 hours a week because you're supposed to be focusing on your graduate program. So if there is a opportunity where you might be looking to work more than 20 hours a week, you have to get permission from the graduate dean. And that's not always going to be approved, but you can always ask, and extreme circumstances may permit it. So usually you're appointed for a semester, about 4.5 months, up to 1 year. Each year begins a new academic year in the fall, and so all of the appointments begin over again at that time. Master students, just a little bit about the pay. Master students are typically $1,100 a month for that 20 hours a week. And if you're a doctoral student, those rates vary by the program. So let's see here. We're going to give you a couple tips on ways to go about looking for an assistantship.
So how to find an assistantship? One key is contact the coordinator or your graduate program advisor by phone call or email first. Check career services and grad school website. It's very important that you keep looking all the time that different positions can be available at any time during the semester. Check department websites and email your resume. Call departments and inquire about openings. Don't feel afraid of calling and asking for asking if there are positions available. It's always better that you try looking and searching for new opportunities. And of course, very important, networking and keeping up to date resume. A position may appear at any time, like I was mentioning before. So if you have an updated resume, it will be easier for you to apply than to take time, and probably the opportunity may not be there. And keep the lender email account updated, because sometimes, in my case, for example, I received an email from my advisor, and she sent it to all the MBA students to apply to this position in the Research and Graduate Office. So it is important that you check that and your email account, or forward it to the account you use, your personal account that you use most of the time. And here you see, I just want to focus on something too. You may apply to different, or apply to positions and receive no or not get the position you want. But you have not to give up, to continue looking, because at the first time you may not be elected or to the position. But if you keep trying and looking for options, you have to be patient and look, and you may get a position. So this is a chart that summarizes the hiring department, the departments that hire graduate assistants, and the type of graduate assistants they hire. Like we saw before, we have 3 types. So for example, we see the College of Nursing hires non-teaching graduate assistants. That's an example. Or the College of Life and Sciences hires teaching and research graduate assistants.
I just want to touch on a couple things that Laura mentioned. Just to highlight, the coordinator of your graduate program is really going to be the person that knows about positions related to your fields. There are lots of different types of positions on campus, and some of them relate very closely to your degree, and some of them may not. Like if you're working in a department like maybe the library or something, it may not be, exactly what you're studying. Like if you're studying marine biology or something, you will be, gaining skills at that job and doing things related to your degree. But if you want something that is very close, like to do specific research or to help assist faculty members, you'll want to especially talk to your graduate coordinator about that. Career Services, we've heard a lot of great things today from Career Services. I want to emphasize that again, to take advantage of that, because you're already paying for it in your student fees. You're already paying for those services. They're free. So go and get help, because you might have worked on your resume, you might think you have a good resume, but you could be wrong. I've learned that the hard way sometimes. Before I was working here, before I got help from a place like Career Services, I thought my resume looked great. I had all this information. To me, it meant a lot, but to get the perspective from a professional that knows what employers are looking for, it can be a lot different. So just remember that, and even if you think you already have a great resume, it can't hurt to have a second pair of eyes take a look at it. So I highly encourage that. And also with the grad school website, many of you have probably logged on to the ELITE website as well. Both of those have sections where there are opportunities listed. Not just on campus opportunities, but I know on our website in particular, we have external opportunities posted that faculty members have told us about, or scholarships or internships, things like that, that you can also pursue as other options that will enhance your graduate experience. So along with that, networking is, for any job search and anything in your life, it is essential to be knowledgeable about people in your fields, and that right now especially includes professors and staff and faculty on campus. When a position may come open, and let's say a faculty member gets awarded a grant to do research about something, they might think, oh, I need a grad assistant. Oh, I know this person, they would be great at it. And they might go ahead and just interview that person right away. Well, if that professor doesn't know who you are, then you might not even get the chance to apply, because they don't know who you are, and there's already so many great students on campus that, they may not send out a mass email to the entire program to look for you. So get to know your professors, get to know what kind of activities are going on related to your program, what kind of classes need to be taught, what kind of research needs to be done, and what kind of office assistance that they might need, and they can keep you in mind if positions come up. Because even if you ask about a position and there's nothing open at that time, a student could graduate, a student could quit, and there could be an opening without you being able to know it. Now, most of the positions for grad assistants come about in the fall. So right now is a good time to start that process of looking for people and looking for opportunities to find positions. And also, sometimes in the summer, there's positions. So if you plan on being here in the summer, start now to look for those opportunities of what might be going on in the summer. So start early, don't give up, try to contact and get to know people that are in your area. If you are in the College of Science and Technology and you want to be a TA, there is an application on the College of Science and Technology website. Right here is the web address. They want you to fill out this particular application here that is reviewed by faculty members. So go to that website if that's something you're interested in. How many people here are not Texas residents? Okay, if you're not a Texas resident and you get a graduate assistantship that meets certain requirements, you may be eligible to pay tuition at the in-state rate. Now I'm just going to tell you a little bit about what that is and how you take advantage of that opportunity. If you meet all the criteria we talked about before, that you're in good academic standing, you are enrolled at least half-time, and you have an assistantship that relates to your degree, you can pursue this waiver opportunity. It's important to note that your employment has to start on or before the 12th class day of that semester. So the semester for the spring has already started. If you were to get a job tomorrow, you wouldn't be able to get it for this semester. That's a rule that the state of Texas has, and so it's not really something we have control over. But if you were to continue working in the summer, you could apply for the summer in-state tuition rate. So, and you have to be at 50% effort or 20 hours a week. If you're just working 10 hours a week, unfortunately, that doesn't qualify. So there's a verification process if you want to get this in-state waiver. And there is 2 ways to do it. Once per year, we have a paper form that gets filled out. And other semesters, there's an online renewal process. This is what the form looks like. And basically, it's straightforward. You complete the top with your information. You take it to your college dean or the chair of your program to sign it. It's important to note that this isn't your supervisor where you work. This is the chair or the dean of the program you're studying in. So if you work in the library, but you're studying computer science, you go get the computer science chair, Dr. Fernandez, or the dean in S&T to sign this part. And then the student will read the qualifications here and sign. And other semesters, because the verification has to be done on a semester basis, we have an online form now that makes it a little bit faster, where you just basically complete it and verify that there hasn't been any changes in your employment status. And that's basically all that there is for that. Do we have any questions?
I do actually. If you were in a master's in certification program, does that qualify to look for an assistantship?
If you are in the master's portion, then yes. Some students choose, when you're doing the master's in certification, some students, when they're done with their master's classes, choose to graduate and end their master's student status and then reapply as a certificate-seeking student. When you do that, then you wouldn't be eligible for a graduate assistantship. But while you're working on your master's classes, the main bulk of it, yes, you would. Any other questions?
For example, like my GPA is under 3 right now. Like I'm on probation, but like after this semester, my GPA is gonna be high because of I'm getting 4 classes right now.
Mm-hmm.
But like right now, can I apply for the graduate assistantship for the summer? Like because of my GPA, you know, like right now it's seen like 275,
Mm-hmm.
but like as I am out of this semester, I will be like over 3.
Right. Yes, you could do that. You could apply for in the summer, and then if you get all A's this semester and it brings your GPA above a 3.0, then yes, you'd be eligible to work during the summer.
But right now, if I apply, like, do you think it's gonna be a problem? Like they will say, oh, you're under 3, so you can.
I think that it would depend on what the job was and who was hiring, but if you are concerned about it, it would be something that you would want to make a note of when you're applying, that you plan on making all A's this semester. Any other questions? Okay, thank you. Oh.
I'm going to get this set up. Just email me her name and I'll make her. So are you all learning a lot? Are you smarter now than when you walked in the door? A lot of information. It'll give you the edge when you're going to look for a GA position, that's for sure. Oh, yeah, I was just going to say, and now we're going to have Adriana Vela from Human Resources.
Hello. The first thing I'd like to do, since it's not in my presentation, is touch a little bit on the resumes, a few points that I wanted to cover on resumes. Career Services did an excellent job, so I hope you guys took notes, and if not, I hope you guys do take your resume to them to take a look at it. One of the most important things that I hear hiring managers complain about is that resumes and applications don't match, or information in the resume is old. So what you're going to want to make a point to do is update your resume. Make sure you have it current. If you put on there that you're expecting a degree, once you gain that degree, change that. Make sure that it says degree earned. If you don't have a degree, let us know that you're expecting at a certain time, because if a job is filling within a particular time period, and at that time you end your, you finish your degree, you earn your degree, then you qualify for the job when before maybe you wouldn't. So that's very important, making sure that you have, that you pay attention to detail, that you update your resume, and that your resume, and if you're filling out an application with the employer, make sure that those two documents match. So pay attention to detail. Once again, that's very important. So Human Resources, what we do. My name is Adriana. Tony Nairn couldn't be with us today, but she is my counterpart in the Human Resources Department. She does exactly the same thing I do, except she focuses on different departments or colleges. What we do is we provide support to the university supervisors and managers with hiring and recruiting practices. We maintain employee records, retention of files, and data management of your employee file. So when you get the job with us, we hire you, you fill out a packet, and we keep it in the database, and we allow you access to your employee file through an online base, which we'll talk about later on in this presentation. The other thing is that we administer benefits. Benefits would be from health, dental, vision, life policies, leave, holidays, whatever you would qualify for depending on your title. So certain things are for certain titles, and other benefits are not. So the one thing that you would want to do is, once you become employed with us and you are benefit eligible, you definitely want to attend an orientation to learn about what benefits are available to you. So what do we do for you guys? Once you get the job and you find that it is a benefit eligible position, then what you're going to want to do is make sure that you're eligible, make sure that you continue your employment. So you're going to want to get to know the business coordinator or the manager or supervisor who hired you, and be comfortable going to them, asking them questions, finding out whether you're benefit eligible, finding out whether you continue from semester to semester, or if it's just for a period of time, stuff like that. That's very important. Because once you do become benefit eligible, then we contact you and we offer you an orientation. During orientation, you learn about your employee file and your benefit options. Keeping up with your employee file, making sure that your address, phone number, and email are current, that's very important. That's our way of communicating with you, and if we find out that you're no longer eligible to keep your benefits, we need to be able to get a hold of you and have some kind of communication. Maybe you're going from one department to another, and the department that you're fixing to go to hasn't informed us that they're hiring you. So if we cut off your medical coverage in between a semester, it's good for you to be able to know who we are and to keep that information current so that we can contact you and that we're comfortable talking to each other. We need to be able to ask you whether you're going to continue your employment and let you know that you need to talk to your business coordinator to let them know that you need to remain in insurance. The other thing that's important is, the other thing that we do for you guys is we provide you assistance with your employee file. If you lose your UIN number is your employee number. That's different from your A number. If you lose that or you need information about that, call our offices and we'll get you that number. We'll reset your password so that you can log into your employee file and provide you with any other assistance that you may need. So that's what we do. That's what we do for you guys. This is where we keep your employee packet. Once you get hired, you complete a packet, like I mentioned earlier. All that information goes into a database. The database is called Single Sign-On. You find it from the main webpage, tamucc.edu. You go down to Human Resources, and in the Human Resources homepage is where you see the link to Single Sign-On. You log in, which we show you how to log in during orientation, and this is pretty much what you see. This screen with these 3 prompts. The rest of them I had to blank them out. And like I was saying, your employee file, all your information is kept there. You can update your information like I was asking you guys to do. You would be able to enroll into benefits through this link, the iBenefits link, and then you would have some training to do online through that link. You'll learn a lot more detail about all this during orientation. And then this is your employee file and what it looks like. And you're probably asking yourself, why are you telling me this? The reason why I'm telling you this is in order to make you comfortable with our screens and what we offer, in order to give you something to look at, so that once you do get the job and once you go to orientation, when I'm talking about all of this, it falls into place. It rings a bell. You're familiar with it. You're comfortable with it. And that, of course, starts our process and our relationship together. So you're probably wondering what makes me eligible. Like Kristen mentioned earlier, part-time graduate assistant at 50% effort and working for a semester, the full semester or longer. That's what makes you benefit eligible. You retain your insurance, you retain your benefit options by continuing your appointments with those departments from semester to semester. You are eligible to enroll into insurance, the medical or any of the optional plans, which would be the dental and the vision, as of your date of hire. However, you're going to be paying a higher amount if you do enroll into your insurance right away. The reason for that is because the state allows you monies to bring down the monthly cost of your insurance to something you can afford. For the graduate assistant plan, the GA health plan, you don't have to pay anything for that. But after you pass the waiting period, there is a 90-day waiting period. So most of the times, by the time you're eligible for that state contribution, that additional amount, it's the end of the semester. That shouldn't discourage you, because if you're continuing your employment with the department, you still keep your insurance into the next semester and then into the summer and then into the fall, and you only had that one-time 90-day waiting period. And then the most important thing that you want to do is attend orientation. That gives you an overview. of where your information is kept, why we collect the information, how to navigate through your employee file, how to find important information about your medical options and what you're enrolled into, and we provide you with important dates so that you don't end up getting placed into a default plan. And it's just, it costs you a lot of money. It's pretty frustrating. So attend orientation. Let us talk to you. Let us guide you. And that is pretty much it. So this probably was a lot of information, but of course you guys are going to be shooting for getting that job. That's it. Do you guys have any questions? Fellow Islanders? Okay, well, then we're done.